It's your girl Z the Begum back again with another episode. Today is a special episode because I've got my sister from another mister straight out of Punjab. Woot woot woot. East or west, Punjab is the best. Welcome to the mic, Psych Z. Everyone give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. So, we have talked about our experiences and we've had different experiences growing up mixed in Desi. I felt pretty much accepted for the most part in being seen as Pakistani. So, I'm going to dive in and ask you a few questions. My first question for you: what were some moments in childhood where you felt different, whether that was in school, at family gatherings, or even at the masjid?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So, growing up, there was so many moments where I felt different, especially in school. I was really bullied, and after 9/11, being Pakistani was always tied to the word terrorist. As a kid, that was just really crushing, and it made me feel ashamed of my identity at times. And I really struggled with finding pride in where I came from. And even at family gatherings or at the mosque, it didn't feel any easier. I often felt too American for my Pakistani side, but when I was around American peers, I felt too Pakistani. And I just felt like I was stuck in between this space where I never fully fit in anywhere. Balancing both cultures just felt exhausting. But over the years, through healing and learning to accept myself, I found a deep pride in my heritage and who I am today.
Oh,
Today, I'm fully, truly blessed to be biracial and carried both cultures with me and embrace every part of my identity. I wouldn't trade it for anything. The journey to this place has been hard, but it really has made me love myself and accept my heritage more than I could ever imagine.
oh, that's really beautiful. And I'm glad that, you are able to accept who you are and find beauty in your identity. It is unfortunate though, like you had to go through those experiences to shape your identity, but I'm really happy that, you've came to that, I guess, space of acceptance and pride. But yo, remember those Ramadan nights, our families cooking at the masjid for community iftar? And after praying Taraweeh, we would hit up Quick Trip, and it was like the ultimate hangout spot. And we thought that was like the coolest thing ever in high school, and how it kind of became our little Ramadan tradition. I just felt the need to share, and I just always thought like that is such a cute memory.
Yeah, those memories honestly were the best. And like, I just really cherish those memories to the heart.
Yep, yep. Good times. So my next question is, how were you treated by Desi aunties and uncles compared to like fully Desi girls?
Yeah, so when I was little, I was really loved by all the Desi uncles, and this was before they all got married. They were all single, and I was kind of the only kid around. I actually had special names for each chachu, and for those that don't know, chachu and Urdu means uncle, and I'd always be at all of the hangouts. I really felt included and just cared for. But things really started to shift after my biological mom passed away and my dad got remarried. Around this time, the uncles kind of began getting married too, and this is when all the aunties came into the picture. That's when I really felt the judgment. I'll never forget one of the aunties even asking my stepmom why she even bothered to take care of me and why she didn't just leave me with my paternal grandmother. Comments like
Mhm.
this really cut deep, and it just made me feel like I was unwanted and I didn't belong. What once felt like love and inclusion slowly turned into being judged and misunderstood. I never felt like I fully fit in with any of the aunties after that.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry that that happened. That is horrible. You already know Desi aunties will clock you on everything. And I feel like sometimes being mixed came with assumptions like either not Desi enough or people overhyping or different quote unquote look. It is, like you said, constantly in the in between. But on a lighter note, what was a favorite memory of a time when you were in Pakistan?
I would say I have a lot of favorite memories from Pakistan. I kind of traveled to Pakistan I would say about like 5 times throughout my entire like childhood. Um, and each time it was just very family oriented. The culture of Pakistan is just beautiful. When I went there for the first time, I believe I was like 8. And it was just honestly a culture shock to me. I mean, just seeing the big, beautiful trucks that had all like the beautiful art on it, and like seeing rickshaws, and just seeing that, some roads don't even have the right side or the left side. There's just cars going, and, motorcycles and all that. Going to my dad's Pind for the first time. And for those that don't know, Pind in Punjabi means village. So yeah, all of that was really great. I think one of my favorite memories, though, I would say, was going to Murray, and that is the mountains in Pakistan. And yeah, I went to Murray and kind of saw the mountains. And then I also went on a horseback ride through the mountains in Pakistan. So that's probably one of my most favorite memories of Pakistan.
Oh, that's so cute. I want to go horseback riding in the mountains. That sounds really fun. And I've always wanted to like go and see Maury because the photos look so beautiful. And I've like noticed it seems like to be like the honeymoon spot, I guess, for couples to like go. So that's cute. For me, I would say my favorite memory is when I went to also my dad's pin for the first time. And for me, it felt like all the stories that he had told me about his life growing up in the village, it was like it truly came alive right before me. Like right before my eyes, I could just see him in front of me, just tending to like the water buffaloes. It was such a surreal moment. And to stand in the home where he was born and where his father was born, I will never forget. It was truly a humbling experience. And honestly, it's like every time I go, I learn more and more about my dad. I get to see him from a different perspective, from different lens of eyes. The first time I went and I came back, I felt reinvigorated, just so inspired by my dad and his journey. It made me feel like I can do anything. Really. If my dad can do this and make it out, I can truly accomplish anything in this life. And I hope eventually, you know, me and my dad, we get to like go to Pakistan one day and just get to travel all over the country and just explore. I would love to see Pakistan from his eyes.
I would honestly love that for you. I feel like that would be such a beautiful trip for the both of you to experience together.
Me too. Inshallah, soon.
Inshallah.
What's your favorite Urdu or Punjabi song?
So I would say I don't necessarily have a favorite song. I really love Balachonia, but um I kind of have more favorite artists. I really loved Atif Aslam growing up, and it's really funny because when I was younger, I had a very big crush on him. And I used to tell my stepmom that I was going to get married to him, but unfortunately, his beautiful wife beat me to that. Um, but a lot of his songs just kind of remind me of my childhood. I would also say the legend Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan is really a big influence on just like my childhood. I remember during Ramadan, like we're not really allowed to listen to music, so I would listen to a lot of Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan's Qawwali. And Qawwali is just religious music for those that don't know. So yeah. And then what else? Just honestly, any type of like Punjabi music, even like Imran Khan, like that Amplifier song, like that to me, just any song, any Punjabi song always gets me hyped.
Oh my goodness, going back to like Atif Islam, people are actually mad at him because I saw on TikTok, I guess he was doing a show in like North America, but I guess he was singing like Michael Jackson songs or something. And people were mad. They were like, I didn't come to hear like, you sing in English. Like we want to hear like our favorites. So that's kind of, I mean, hilarious, but then kind of sad. And I would feel the same way. And yeah, Punjabi, I really definitely want to go to a Punjabi concert soon. And then also, I feel like our music is kind of like not taking over, but like we're kind of being like at on the map, And I feel like it won't be long till like we'll see like Punjabi music fusions with R&B or hip hop. I mean, you kind of already see it with those mashups. Like I know there's this one song with Drake and I can't remember the singer at this time, but there's that mashup and it's a really great mashup. But yeah, I feel like we've definitely grown in terms of like popularity of like music. Now even also Indians are listening to our music.
I absolutely agree with that. And it does definitely like makes me really prideful of just like our music and like how far we're going with our music. Like I've seen on TikTok, like going back on what you were saying, just like those mashups of just like Punjabi music mixed with R&B, with hip hop, even with like some reggaeton, like Latin music. Like it just makes me really excited to see the future and how far Punjabi, Pakistani, Urdu music can go.
Yes, we have range, honey. We have range.
That's for sure.
And I gotta insert my running joke. Two things a Pakistani is always gonna build: a masjid and a business. And it's so true because again, connecting to music now, Dean Squad, they're not Pakistani, but they even rapped about doing business Pakistani style. In Islam, we're really skilled. And it's just not a stereotype. Research actually shows immigrant entrepreneurs gain social capital from their networks within their ethnic enclaves. Immigrants are actually twice as likely as native born Americans to start their own business. And for us South Asians, it's not golf courses where deals happen. It's weddings, graduations, and even baby showers or sitting at a Mediterranean or Desi restaurant eating good food. People will discuss their next business deals or business ventures with their business associates.
Yes, girl. Agreed. Tell me why growing up, my family owned two laundromats. Like, what were we doing owning two laundromats? But that kind of goes back off of what you were saying with just Desi immigrants, really just striving and owning all these different businesses.
And what I think may be a reason, and I know it's not just for us South Asians, immigrants. Well, not us because we're not immigrants, but our parents, it's because, a lot of them had like the skills. Like some of them were like doctors back in Pakistan or an accountant or a lawyer, but unfortunately, some of those, not skills, but the degrees. Yeah, the degrees don't really transfer over here. And so sometimes they have to start over. And it's like, I guess maybe for them, not worth it. So then they, pursue business as an alternative. But I just feel like we're hustlers because I mean, yeah, we do real estate, like you said, laundromats, of course, also gas stations, convenience stores, restaurants, motels. You see a lot of immigrants wanting those types of businesses. Now, my next question for you, Sightsee, do you feel accepted in Desi spaces, or do you feel like you had to prove your Desiness?
That's a really good question. I would say from just my personal experience being biracial, I honestly just felt like I've always had to prove my Desiness, and that was just really painful. Even when I was in Pakistan, it was hard. I felt like some cousins wouldn't even try to talk to me because of my American side, and it just made me feel so out of place. Growing up, it felt like no matter what I did, I constantly just had to prove that I belonged in both worlds. And even in my own Pakistani family, I mean, there were just comments about how I act. If I was bad sometimes, or if I was just acting out of place, there would be comments made saying, "Oh, it's because of your white side." And hearing that over and over again just made me feel like I wasn't enough. It was just exhausting. And it made me feel like I could never fully belong anywhere. Like I was always on the outside trying to fit in or just trying to fight for a place that I just felt like trying to fight for a place that felt just out of reach.
Mm, mm, yeah, man, that's unfortunate. And that truly does suck. And that like to hear that like, oh, because if you're acting out, I mean, children act out. Any child would, doesn't matter what race or ethnicity background, you come from. But to hear like, oh, it's because of your white side, like that must have been so frustrating and like disheartening and confusing to hear, especially as a child. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
thank you. I mean, it was just honestly a really hard struggle when it came to, especially just like my grandparents. Like, even my uncles, like my dad's brothers, I would say, it was just really hard. I would say that, like I said, I just truly felt like I never was Pakistani enough for them. And I always just had to prove myself, like constantly just trying to embrace my culture. Like no matter how much I tried to embrace my culture, I just felt like I was never fully enough for them, unfortunately.
Oh, well, you are more than enough, and you are very much so Pakistani. For me, in my experience, and again, I know we've had different experience, and one, it's not a monolith. Not everyone is going to have the same experience, but for me, I felt accepted in Desi spaces, but I had to, I guess, prove my Desiness, which that is frustrating. And again, I felt accepted. And what I mean by like feeling having to prove it, I think it more so stemmed from not necessarily being mixed, because it's like, your dad is Pakistani and, I feel like, again, like I had spoken on the previous episode, most people's mindset from like, South Asia, the Middle East, Africa, you follow your dad's side. You are what your dad is, at least in my experience. And so I think we're having to prove myself. It was kind of being more treated like, I don't want to say whitewashed Desi person, but more so just coming from the space because I wasn't fluent in Urdu and I wasn't frequently visiting Pakistan like other Pakistani kids, then that made people question my Desiness. Like, do I really know my history, my culture? Do I like Pakistani food, etc. But to me, that's just so even like confusing. Well, I don't know if confusing is the right word because I feel like, Pakistani people, young or old, we are proud of our heritage, rightfully so. We are a relatively young country, like maybe what, 70 plus years. Our grandfathers have lived through partition. My father, he saw the Pakistan Bangladesh War. So there's no way that that pride and tradition is just going to fade away. It's in us because, we had to fight for our freedom and rights. So that's not going to die down just because they moved to, the rest or they married someone who wasn't Pakistani. Like, I feel like we're, again, very prideful people because of what we have been through. And no one's going to let that die down. And shout out again to my uncles. They really had held it down for me and my siblings. They kept the culture, the tradition, and of course, the religion alive. So much that I know is because of them and having that experience living in a joint family. And also my dad, he shared stories and if we had questions and again, me and my siblings, we were always inquisitive of our Pakistani heritage. So we always wanted to know more. And maybe that also stems from not getting to go to Pakistan a lot because unfortunately we didn't have the privilege to go in our childhood. We went in our early adulthood. So I think that also kind of played a role in wanting to know more. For me, like the second time, again, even when I had went to Pakistan, I was so emotional. I was recording a little personal vlog and it was just so real and I couldn't believe like, oh, I'm like actually here. And it's just like, I don't want to say a missing piece to the puzzle because I know who I am and I know like my history, the family history and stuff like that. But it's just like, it's like I unlocked a piece of me, if that makes any sense. But it's just like, I get to know more and see it firsthand and experience the culture firsthand, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making like any sense, but like honestly, when we had landed, I could literally have kissed the ground. It just felt like so it just feels like a dream. It felt like a dream, honestly.
No, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. And I just feel like, yeah, like when you go to Pakistan for the very first time, it's such a culture shock. Like there's just so much culture, there's so much vibrance. Like I mean, Pakistan is just such a beautiful country. There's so much to see, so much to be proud of. So, yeah, I can totally understand how you felt like going to Pakistan really brought out that identity, that Pakistani identity, and you felt closer to your heritage and to your culture.
Mhm. And I must say, our hospitality is unmatched, whether it's in Pakistan or just Pakistanis here in the West. I feel like our hospitality is truly like up there.
I know. If you are Pakistani, you know that you can never go to somebody's house empty-handed.
Facts, straight facts. Do you think the future generation, like our future kids, will face the same struggles or will things be easier for them?
Honestly, I really hope that future generations won't have to face the same struggles I did. Just from my personal experience, I've noticed that, our generation is just becoming more accepting, and there's so much blended culture nowadays. Like, it just feels like our world is slowly just opening up. I mean, on social media and TikTok, I see all these Pakistanis marrying Palestinians, marrying Indians, marrying Latinos, Puerto Ricans, just like there's so much mixed culture, and it really makes me happy to see that. And what gives me the most hope is just seeing how open-minded and curious children are nowadays. What gives me the most hope is just seeing how open-minded and curious children are nowadays. There's just so much more than when I was growing up. I dream that our kids being mixed race will grow up in a world filled with acceptance, understanding, and unconditional love, where they never have to feel the pressure to choose what part of themselves they want to be over the other.
Wow, that's really beautiful and profound. And I agree. I feel like the world is becoming more diverse, more accepting, more tolerant. Like you said, there's a lot of now like Pakistani Palestinian weddings, Pakistani and Mexican weddings, Pakistani and East Africans or West African weddings or Pakistani, yeah, like I said, Pakistani and Palestinians and other, Arab mixes and stuff like that. And that's really great. And actually, to tie it back to Islam, which it really should be, there is that verse in the Quran. I know I need to properly cite it correctly, but it's basically saying in that verse that, God made us from different tribes to get to know one another. But unfortunately, as you know, even in our culture, I don't want to say all of us, but unfortunately, some people are still stuck on the whole tribe caste thing. And also, other cultures have their own tribes and stuff like that who are also stuck on that, that mentality. Like you can only marry someone within your tribe, which is not Islamic. It's very un-Islamic. And, again about acceptance. If we look now at the media, you're now starting to see like more Pakistani actors and like for example, Delhi Boys. Like I'm so happy with that show and I'm so happy that they got renewed. Now, I'm not a big fan of like the idea of money laundering and like killing and stuff, but it's so nice to see us play a role besides playing the terrorist role, besides playing a fob role, like being the taxi driver. We're so more than that. And the lead actor, one of them is Pakistani, and the writer is also Pakistani. So it makes me proud to see us to become, something more, evolve and more. And then also like the judge, I believe in Baltimore, Maryland, Judge Lauren Ali Khan. That's amazing to actually see like, okay, a Pakistani judge to, you know, represent. And so me personally, I do feel like they, inshallah, won't have the same struggles that we did. And I think that when we were growing up, there wasn't a lot of Desi people. Where now, the community has flourished. And like I think one of the high schools is predominantly Desi. So now they have like a little SAS formal. Good for them. Definitely we didn't have that. That would have been so cool to have. The only time I experienced a SAS formal was in college. But thank you again, Psych Z. This was such a fun and honest conversation. We laughed, we got real, we held it down for the mixed Desi experience. So, once again, thank you so much for joining me. It's your girl, Zila Begum, and the mic is on.
Every breath a right to grieve. Zia the Begum, here to stay. In her softness she paves the way. With